With my best Keanu Reeves impression, I got one word to describe this movie. Yeah. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Alex and I talk movies and on occasion video games. And today I'm going to be talking about the fourth installment in the John Wick saga, John Wick Chapter 4. John Wick Chapter 4 once again stars Saint Keanu Reeves, the savior of dogs, as the title character. With the price on his head ever increasing, John Wick uncovers a path to defeating the High Table. But before he can earn his freedom, Wick must face off against a new enemy with powerful alliances across the globe and forces that turn old friends into foes. So do you remember back in 2018 when there was an action movie that was released called Mission Impossible Fallout, and everybody was deeming it the best action film of the decade and that was going to be hard to beat for the next 10 years? Well, I love the John Wick movies. John Wick 1 is great. John Wick 2, not as good. I think it's the worst of the sequels, but it's still a lot of fun. I still really, really love it. John Wick 3, amazing. What I'm getting to with that statement is here. It didn't take as much time for John Wick Chapter 4 to be the action movie to beat it. They shaved that in half. John Wick Chapter 4 is an action movie lover's wet dream. This is an action extravaganza. This is an action epic, clocking in at 2 hours and 49 minutes that never felt as long as it actually was. They keep outdoing themselves with these John Wick movies. These action scenes just keep getting better and better by the movie. These action scenes are really just built around making sure that they're in camera. The stunts are great, and Keanu Reeves is doing 90% of his stunts or 95% of his stunts, so you can actually see the actor doing the stunts with great fight choreography and just jaw-dropping moments that will make these scenes imprinted in your mind for the rest of time. And that's exactly what John Wick 4 does. And I did hear a complaint from people next to me in the theater that this one felt a little light on action. Oh, no, 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 no. The movie needs room to breathe in between action sequences, for sure. There's not as many action sequences, but the action sequences themselves, I timed them because I had heard a lot of things about the action sequences in this movie. So I timed them. There's a big one towards the beginning that is 27 minutes. There's another one at the end. The entire third act of the movie is a giant action scene that lasts close to 40 minutes. It's a non-stop action extravaganza with great fight choreography, great in-camera action with no shaky cam, long takes, Keanu doing all of his stunts as usual, as he should for a movie like this, and action scenes, and an entire movie that is really well directed by Chad Stahelski. He's got his niche with these John Wick movies. He came from a background of being a stunt coordinator, and a stunt coordinator is the perfect person to direct a John Wick movie. As I said, there's things in these action scenes that will have your jaw dropping. And as I had said before, they try to outdo themselves with every action scene in the newest installments in the series. And there's one action sequence that reminded me of like an over-the-top video game, like an overhead video game, or something that James Wan would do, something similar to what he did in Malignant. And it features a weapon, a deadly weapon John Wick has, and he is just blowing people away, and it's amazing, and then it stops, and I'm like, oh, you know what? It was cool, but I wish I could have got more, and it stops for like a brief second, and then they do it again. I'm like, this is fucking heaven right now. This is so friggin' cool. John Wick 4 is honestly the best of the sequels, and it might be the best John Wick movie, because with those action sequences, you actually have a pretty cool story here. The entire John Wick saga has evolved from just a dude who is pissed off at the assassins that killed his dog to something bigger, and that's because of the world building of all four movies, and this movie builds the world out even more. There's people that John Wick has to deal with that are higher than some people that he dealt with in the third movie, like Bill Skarsgård's character. He is an absolute prick, man. He is a great villain in this movie. And there's different rules that you learn about that you didn't learn about in the previous three with this criminal assassin underworld. This world feels so comic booky, and I love that each movie retained that comic booky feel to it. It makes me really wish that there were John Wick comics that these movies were based on, because those are comics that I would probably read instead of just get my knowledge from the movies like I do with the MCU or DC or something like that. And this movie might have some of my favorite supporting characters in a John Wick movie. When you have action legends like Donnie Yen and Hiroyuki Sanada in the same movie, give them goddamn spin-offs. Their new characters, Donnie Yen plays a blind assassin who was once a friend of John Wick's, who is now working for the High Table. He's a blind guy again, just like he was in Rogue One. Donnie Yen is so good at that. Hiroyuki Sanada, I was a little bit disappointed with him in last year's Bullet Train. I didn't think he had all that much to do. He gets some moments to shine in this movie. He's not in the movie all that much, but when he's there, he kicks ass, and that's what I wanted to see Hiroyuki Sanada do. It's so amazing. There's also another character, played by Shamir Anderson, who has a dog. There was something that I thought that they were going to do where it would somehow connect to John Wick 3 since he had a dog, but his character was really cool. He might have been the best out of the new characters because he had a purpose, he had a motivation, but Donnie Yen also might have been the best out of the new characters. Donnie Yen plays Kane. Kane is the one I think I want to see the spin-off of the most, but if we are getting a John Wick 5, I would love to, out of all of them, to come back for a John Wick movie. I would love to see Mr. Nobody, or the Tracker as he's credited as, come back as well and aid John Wick, because they kind of left it ambiguous, and it's interesting if they are going to stop here, though, because with recent comments from both Keanu and the director themselves, they said they're putting John Wick on the back burner for a little bit. So if this is the end, man, they went out with a bang. If sometime down the road they decide to do a John Wick 5, I don't know how they can top this. All of the John Wick movies are what action movies should be. They are the blueprint. Long takes, in-camera stunt work, and choreography, with the actor doing 90% of the stunts himself. What I didn't like about John Wick Chapter 4? Look, somebody's gonna throw me a lifeline here, because I can't think of one. This movie is it's perfect. I know it's the best of the sequels, and I'm really debating whether or not I like this more than the first movie. And the first movie is so good too. And another thing that I liked about John Wick 4 too is it seems like it has the most emotional intensity to it. And you could say that about the first one, but when you watch this one and where the story ends up at the end, you know that it's okay. The first one was what really set the events off for this entire saga. This one, you're just like, that makes sense. That's satisfying, and I buy into that more, I think, than the motivation for John Wick in Chapter 1. Even though it was, hey, they killed my dog, I'm gonna kill them all. Perfect motivation. It was earned in that movie, but here I felt like it was more earned, if you know what I mean. You'll know what I mean by the end of the movie. John Wick Chapter 4 is an action movie lover's dream. This is my favorite movie of the year so far. John Wick Chapter 4 belongs in popcorn heaven. Whoa. So if you guys have seen John Wick Chapter 4, I want to know what you thought about it. Drop me some feedback in the comment section below. I'll leave my link to my website in the description below as well. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I will see you at the movies somewhere.